video that we're talking about right now is we're talking about what it means to be a human being. And when you understand what it means to be a human being, you'll have so much more agility and control of this like body that you're in this life that you're living. The narrative that's going on in your mind. When you're able to understand it all from more of like a, bird's eye view, logical perspective of looking at like the human species, almost like as if we were animals. You know what I mean? Like as if you were like analyzing like a group of dogs or a group of ants, whatever you call it, a group of ants. You know what I'm saying? A pack of wolves, lions, fish, trees, anything that's alive, flies, bees, primates, human beings. Looking at it the same way, and I think having an understanding of that, that will give, I think, a lot of people so much more like peace of mind. Peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? The peace of mind that I think that I came across was that as a human being, a lot of times I think our fear is that we're afraid of looking stupid or we're afraid of making a mistake. And I think that like we link our mistakes to our self-esteem, or there's just like a weird link to all of that. And I think that when I realized that making a mistake, or I would say like doing something that, maybe from an outside perspective would be looked as kind of slightly stupid or just different, I'm not afraid to do that because I'm like, you know what, as a human being, we're created to make mistakes. Like, if you weren't making mistakes, you wouldn't be perfect. That's a whole other mindset I came across. The concept of like, I'm perfect. And some people say, well, you act like you're perfect. And I think I don't really get that. I've never gotten that criticism. Because I don't act like I'm perfect. And I think that that's one of my skill sets. That's one of my strengths. Because I don't pretend to be perfect. And I think no matter what, just through that perspective, my self-esteem rises high. And it almost makes me like come across maybe like perfect sometimes, or maybe that's not perfect, but like the concept of having the crown on your head, the winner effect, the prize kind of perspective, having that vibe about you. That comes from like, not having your self-esteem linked to like anything external. Or understanding that none of that can ever be challenged. Your value can never be challenged. No matter what you do, no matter what mistakes, you can fuck up all your life. And you literally could like never allow that to affect your self-esteem about who you think you are, like, and how you carry yourself. It's like, just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you need to walk around like sad and shit. That's all shame. It's all shame and like regret. It's weird, but it's like a thing that kind of gets lodged in the back of the mind over time. And so like if you live your life and you're at least over 25, 30 years old, you know what I mean, you've lived so much life, you're gonna have like just like beliefs lodged in the back of the mind just from all this life you've lived. And I think that if you're not aware of that and how to debug that and how to see that, you won't really, I feel like it'll drive you subconsciously on autopilot. And this will affect just kind of like how you live life. Almost like a butterfly effect. Like every decision you make, every shirt you wear, how you respond to a conversation, the words you use when you respond to the conversation, how you walk, the volume of your voice, how you say it when you talk. You know what I mean? Like how like elastic your thinking is. You know what I mean? The blood flowing through you, your heart rate, everything is like affected by that. It's pretty wild. And it's not, you probably don't need to know all this stuff, but I think that like people could transform themselves. Like I've been in the process of like transforming myself because I had like a real good logical understanding of like my own self-esteem and realizing like, yo, there's a certain amount of confidence and bravado and belief that's required to make music and be on stage and do that as a business, and truly live that life as an artist and like go all in on it. You have to have a certain level of confidence. Anything you're doing, that's like starting a business, music, art. It takes a lot of like bravado and gumption, and I realized I was like, man, for me to be up in front of the world like that, I have to raise my self-esteem. So I had to look at myself more objectively. And looking at myself objectively is almost for me the process of like, and I think this is is one of the ways that allows me to like really just relax and not be so like caught up in my head and worrying about saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, which allows me to like be more free, take more risks, and be myself more and be more authentic. And I realized like it's really the perspective of like looking at myself objectively, like stepping out of myself and like, oh, like I'm a human being, man, I'm a person. Like it allows me to cut myself some slack. When you cut yourself some slack, you can cut others some slack. When you're not judging yourself so harshly, you won't judge others so harshly. You know what I mean? And so it's like, even in you freeing yourself, it comes from like how you, like, as you're freeing yourself, you're freeing up in your bandwidth of your mind, the perspective and the thoughts that you can shoot out into your brain to like be more like loving. Like straight up. It's like kind of wild. But maybe this is the science of love, baby. Maybe this is what we're all talking about. But I just think that like, looking at myself objectively was what helped me look at myself and say, okay, how can I improve myself? It's all like, I think that comes down to certain goals. I think like, I think when you like, it's like when you have a goal, you have to like ask yourself like, okay, like what price are you willing to pay? Because whatever you want, you have like nothing is free. Like everything is like a value exchange, like in any kind of way. And it sounds kind of wild. And I'm not saying you got to look at everything as transactional. It's not saying go extreme. It's just understand like, all right, if you want something, if you want to be like, what do you want to be? You want to be a firefighter. Okay, well you're gonna have to go through certain requirements. You're gonna need to do this. You're gonna be able to do this. You're gonna need to be like this type of body fit. You're gonna need to get in shape. You need to be stronger. You need to pass these type of tests. You know what I mean? It's like same thing with anything in life and everything you want. Whether you want, whether you want more money, you want more better health, better relationships. And I think like, a lot of people don't have time to think about something. And it's like, that's just really the truth. The world is set up in a way where you could think about this stuff, but it's like, a lot of people maybe just don't have control of their emotions to a degree where it's like, you don't want to think about this stuff. So a lot of thinking people do, tends to get like, put into distraction, watching aimless videos, just like alcohol and, just getting high or just distraction, pornography, things we use to like escape, whether it's like other people, relationships, places, work, jobs. It's almost like this escape thing. And we're almost in constant like an animal. Like what time is it? All right, it's 4:00. I gotta go to the bathroom. Like boom. We're just dialed in to like everything. That's kind of like what just pops you up to feel like, okay, you want some soda right now, or you want sex right now, or you need a hug right now, or you want to talk to someone right now, or like, you want attention. Like even with myself, like I'm walking around with a guitar, I'm making YouTube videos, and I'm wearing a red shirt with like my diamond chain bust. You know what I mean? It's just like natural, causing attraction. I think whether I'm getting attraction or not, or people are being like drawn to what I'm doing, attracting attention at all. It's like I'm just naturally set up to do that, and maybe that's something that's happening in the back of my mind I'm not aware of. And that could all be stemming from sex and survival. That's what we're all here for to do. Everything you do is stemming from your ability to put you in the best position that in your brain can calculate that you will survive and you will have children, you will have sex, you'll be able to reproduce, or you'll be desired, like everything. And like how you view yourself and your own self-worth will put you into the position on how good or not you're gonna do that. And that's all how you view yourself as just like, as a physical unit in life. And so it's like, I feel like thinking about things like this that has helped me, has allowed me to grab the steering wheel of my life yo, like take a step back and just like stop just working for a second. Stop paying all these bills for a second. Stop like being in the rat race for a second. Stop, like get up, like stop trying to like stop putting music out. Just stop and look at yourself, the city you're living in, the world you're living. Look at life objectively, almost like a scientist. Like, all right, what am I doing? What is this thing about? I'm here for like how long? 80 years? All right, how do I fucking make just sit back and strategize and have fun with it. Have fun with it. Because that's the number one thing that I realized was like, yo, my life, I'm noticing even, it's not like I'm like living like fucking rock star life, just like here and there, fast life, super fast. But my life has gotten progressively more fun in the last couple of weeks, just in a consistency. And I'm noticing it's just because of how I'm living my day-to-day life. Like I'm making videos right now. This is fun for me. You know what I'm saying? I play my guitar every day. I'm getting on stage more. You know what I'm saying? I'm dressing a little more like, I'm getting more like, you know, I'm popping out a little more. My colors. I'm just allowing myself to like, I'm going out in the world more. You know what I'm saying? Where maybe before I kind of liked the stoic isolation that I was in. I was in my Batman in the cave, kind of like just like sitting back for a minute. And now I've kind of like it's a natural resurfacing that I'm experiencing. I'm naturally stepping out of my cocoon, and I like that because then it's like, you know, it's a natural process when you understand the power of yourself and what you're doing and why you're here, and from a spiritual aspect, but then also to a physical aspect. Man, like I feel like it gives us so much more capability to have a better life. And I realize like one way that I have more fun, here's another like just like tad bit. I recognize that the fun in human interaction. Like, you know, this is one of those things where you take a bird's eye view and you're like, what are human beings doing? Well, when you look at human beings, it's just like human beings walking around just like talking to each other, like absorbing each other's vibes and then moving over. It's just people walking into rooms talking to other people. That's literally like the human experience. And then you being by yourself. It's like your relationship with yourself and then just like with the world. Almost like when you see ants, they're just like moving and they see each other, they exchange information and they move. And it's like, and I think like what has opened my world is realizing just by statistics, the unlikelihood of like the average random person, random stranger like attacking me or hating me. Like it's very rare. I go out into the world and it's like I get good vibes. I just put out good vibes and then like someone else puts good vibes back to me, and it's just like a good life. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna have your share of, you know, you're not always going to vibe with every human. That's okay. But it's like if you make up for it just by the sheer volume and abundance of just positive or just great interactions, and not being so caught up in what the interaction is even about. You could talk about random ass shit. You could talk about like the state of the economic policy of the zip code in Wisconsin. Just some random ass place. I don't know. It's not random, but to me, that's just the random thought. I don't even know why I said that. It just came to my mind. But if someone just started talking about that, I would still engage in the conversation because I learned something, and I'd recognize it wouldn't even be about me needing to gain anything from this human. It's just the sharing of the vibration. And I recognize that, man, like in a given day when I talk to like, I'll talk to as many people as I can. I say hello to more people. I'm interacting with more people. It's a sheer difference when you recognize people who aren't doing that, and that's the average person. When you notice the average person only talks to a certain amount of people in a given day, and you 10x that, you twice as much, 3x times as much, not 10x. I mean, if you did 10x, it'd be crazy. I mean, yeah, if someone talks to one person, you talk to 100. You want to talk to 10 people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that crazy. But still, some people, that's how it is. They're in their house all day. They don't even leave. But it's still, my point is that I recognize my life has become more fun by just the interactions and moment to moment. And I'm realizing life in a lot of ways is about the moment to moment, like interaction. Every moment counts. Every moment is like a snapshot. And you get all of them in a 24-hour day. And it never stops, even when you go to sleep. You know what I mean? It could just be black for a little bit, and then like a dream will start appearing on the screen, and it's like all your thoughts and all these things just like playing by themselves. It's kind of wild, but yeah, man, like life is moment to moment. I'm realizing just how free I am. Like I'm like, yo, like in a given day, a random person is not going to attack me. Like, so the fear of death, like really, I can understand in certain places, in certain environments, certain lifestyles, absolutely why I got put on someone's mind. But the average human being who's gonna watch this video and live their life and live in the city and live their normal life, you're not gonna have to deal with like any physical harm to you. A lot of what people are struggling with is psychological harm, and it's relationship harm. It's a loss of status. That's a loss of status in people's minds. And when you built a world and you built your self-esteem around the approval of an entire like tribe of people, your entire life can become like all about maintaining that. And when if your whole life and your whole self-esteem is about that, I think that maybe some people are so driven by that it just becomes them, and it's just what it is. That's how that animal is fucking programmed to live its fucking existence and find joy in whatever it is. And like, because like really at the end of the day, we're just brains in a vat. We're brains in a skull, and everything we're experiencing, from the light to the heat, from the sun to the sound of the birds, these are all just electrical receptors going to my brain. It's just electric, all of it. It's all electrical receptors. It's just the brain thinking what it's experiencing. Like we don't even, it's like can we even see anything? Like, or it's just you know what I mean? Like it probably gets really deep when you think about it. Like it probably can go even deeper than that. Shoddy. But I think like in a lot of ways it's like recognizing that and realizing like, yo, people not liking you isn't gonna stop you from living a good life. And I think the fear honestly the fear of, I believe the number one fear that people have is the fear of rejection, the fear of not being liked, the fear of disapproval, the fear of losing status in whatever hierarchy, whether that's, you could be working in a freaking coffee shop or being the manager there. There's I think certain people not certain, but all of us. That's like the number one fear. Like what else are people afraid of in a modern society where there's not that much gun violence? It's like there's violence in a major city, but it's not like a national security alert. You can still live your life. So like the odds of that happening are very slim. So what are people afraid of in a fucking marshmallow world? What people are afraid of disapproval. And this disapproval and this lack of validation that happens to people, I believe what happens is it literally controls every fucking thing we do. Everything. And how, and like the ceiling to which you're gonna be yourself. And you're gonna make the decisions that you wanna make. Literally, it's like the ceiling. How much you're gonna be yourself. And I think there's a certain level, it's important to have a certain, I think like recognizing, making decisions based on mutual benefit and integrity to the best of your fucking like ability allows you to make decisions that can only affect you or allow you to coexist as best possible in the world. You know what I mean? And that's why we have so many social movements that are changing, that are affecting race and sex and gender, that are changing the world and allowing people to just like be themselves and live how they want to live. And there's a kind of a clash. And how, because it's big business and economics and how politics are affected by it. So it's like, it has a big effect on the world, but I think it'll balance out. You know what I mean? Whenever there's change and it's happening rapidly, there's gonna be a lot of, unhappy like discourse. People are not always it's gonna be people talking. They're gonna criticize. They're not gonna, it's like when you change the fucking interface on Instagram, on Facebook, it's like everybody's posting about how they changed it and we wish we can go back, and then like after a couple weeks you forget. And that's how they changed the world. You know what I'm saying? And so we're in a new time period where I think with social media and hyper surveillance, with everyone having a camera in their phone. That's the thing. Everyone has a fucking camera in their phone. By the way, Cybertruck spotted. I've been seeing them. Been seeing them pretty much everywhere now. It's probably like, I see one probably once every day now. It's still a flex. It's definitely a flex. Cybertruck's a flex, for sure. It's a flex. But I noticed like it's pretty cool. It doesn't it still gets attention. Eventually it will lose that. You know, I think I would probably want to wrap mine in a different color or something. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like burgundy or something. Like dark green. Go army with it. Army vibes. But yeah, so like what I was saying. Yeah, like the fears that people have. Basically I want to wrap it up and say like the fear that naturally people have is the fear of what people think of them. And the world is like a stage, and like you're a player. So you go out to the world, and how you dress, and how you express your words, how you like everything you do. If you are doing it how you want to do it, talking how you want to talk, walking how you want to walk, dressing how you want to dress, listening to the music you want to listen to, sitting how you want to sit, everything, buying what you want to buy. If people really analyze, like truly analyze every single decision that they're making, how much are their decisions being influenced by the idea of what someone else thinks about them, the fear? Whether that is walking up and talking to a group of people, whether it's walking up and talking to like, even now, like I saw those people and like in my mind I was like, I'm gonna go walk over there and just talk to them. And I think there was a natural like, I felt like the subconscious like kind of fear in my mind. I felt that. See, that's something that I do naturally where I will stop and I will assess that. And I think that's something that basically what I'm talking about is just the recognition of that. And I think early in the video or in a video before I was talking about how that the human naturally feels that, and I think that's for protection, it's for safety, so that you can approach situations more with caution, more ninja-esque, understanding how to read a room. I think that's important. But not succumbing to that, realizing like, yo, they're not gonna just like attack me and kill me, like that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, some people are like, you never know. It's like, yeah, you never know, but the fucking odds of that, man, no, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you don't do it and live life and like, and acting like death isn't a fucking part of the equation. Every day you should be reminded yourself that you have one life to live and you don't actually have control over when you're gonna go or how that's gonna happen. I mean, I do, because me and God like this, you know what I'm saying? He has the path, you know, he talks about. I'm working it out with him. But anyways, yeah. At the end of the day, understand like, you know what, life is precious. It's an experience. And you grab the opportunity when you can. You know what I'm saying? Every time you have it. And like, you know, everything I'm saying at the end of the day, all the things I've just said in this 23-minute video, literally, if you utilize it, maybe that's what I'll start talking about better, is just the ability to recognize what all this information, what I just said, and knowing how to apply it, the application and the utility of the information that I'm giving you. And that information is realizing how easy it is to have way more fun and be who you want to be and love your life. And it becomes a worldview. And it's like, once you start thinking like this, you'll never think different. You'll never think the same. You will see the world from a perspective that the average person doesn't see the world, and you will shine. Typically what'll happen is when you go out to places, you will just shine. It'll be very natural for all eyes to be on you. It'll be very natural for you to kind of like have fun. You know what I'm saying? You'll notice that, like, let's say like if you're having 50% of fun most of your life, understanding this will allow you to have, you know, 60 to 70% more fun. Imagine if your life was 20% more fun than what it is now, or just more exciting, a little bit more adventurous. Your life would automatically be improved. You'd automatically feel better. Like, who wouldn't feel better? No one wants less fun. Some people, maybe they do. Maybe too much fun is too much, and I understand. But this isn't for all those people. This is for the people that really don't understand and relate to the words that I'm saying and how I'm putting it down. You feel me? So, it's been a pleasure. It's been a beautiful experience, and I'm glad that we've got this opportunity to chat and kick it. And so right now I'm going to sit down for a brief moment, and then I'm going to play the guitar and jam for a second. Just want to keep jamming, you know what I'm saying? Keep the jam alive. Then I'm gonna go charge my phone, and we'll be back. You know what I mean? We'll be back. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?